Hello everyone. So as promised, I have a haul. This is the garage sale haul. If you haven't seen us going around the garage sale and picking up some lovely vintage and second-hand items, then that was the video before. I'll link it at the end, so it doesn't matter what order you watch it in anyway. But this is the haul that I promised you from that garage sale. First of all, I really hope you can't hear the dishwasher, but you might be able to just hear it in the background. Don't know why I didn't think, I'm going to make a video this afternoon and not put the dishwasher on. I just went into automatic pilot, so that's rumbling away in the background. And then just before decided to sit down and make the video, we've had some issues with our electrics. If you've watched any of Nick's videos, then I think he's explained it, but one of our circuits keeps tripping, and it's been absolutely fine for 2 weeks. Then I sat down to make this and it tripped. Nothing that I did, I hadn't touched anything, I hadn't put anything on, hadn't switched anything on, I hadn't touched anything, I wasn't doing anything electrical, and it just went. So this light doesn't work, so I'm relying on natural light, so it probably isn't that great. Anyway, that's all the admin out of the way. And now on to the part that you have actually come for, which is seeing all the lovely things that I've picked up. At the end of the last video, I shared a couple of things that I'd picked up. Just to give you a taster, an idea of what I was going to show you in this haul video. So I'm going to start with one of those things, and it's the set of 4 fish plates that I got. So got 4 of these, and they are made by Arcaroc, which is a French company. These are dinner plate size, and you can get the bigger platters as well, but I've got 4 of the dinner plates. Looking at completed listings, it looks like they're worth about £15 to £20 to resell, and I paid £2 for them. At this garage sale, it's like a garage sale trail within a village, and they had a boot sale as well. We got there a bit late for the boot sale, they were all packing up. So this was from one of the stalls at the boot sale, and I think that's why I got them so cheap, because they were packing up and she just wanted to get rid of them. At the first stall that we went to, I found this plate, and I just thought it looked really interesting. It looked like it was something that could be collectible. This is what the back looks like. And not sure how you pronounce it, Trusty, that's the make. I ummed and ahed a little bit. It's got a very tiny flea bite chip. Yeah, I wasn't sure. She was selling some jugs as well, and I looked at those, and yeah, I went back and forth. I did actually, Jeff's growling, somebody's passing. We had loads of people passing by and cars, it was all going on. Anyway, what was I saying? Yes, so I went back and forth on this. Actually, while Nick was looking at some stuff, I did actually Google it, and I found a plate, not the same as this, but by this make, selling for about 20. So I thought, oh, I'm going to take a chance, just on instinct. It just looked like something that would be interesting and that somebody would collect. So I decided to pick it up. I think she wanted £2 for it, maybe 3. It might have been 3, and that's why I was really umming and ahhing. So, having got it home and had a really good look and a good research on it, it turns out to be they're calling them Bushman rock painting plates, Jeff agrees. Um, and totally thrown by everything that's going on around me. And it should be about 20 to 25 pounds back on that. So yeah, not too bad, not too shabby. So I'm glad I picked that up. The jugs, on the other hand, she had 3 jugs, various sizes, and they're studio pottery, and I thought they're absolutely beautiful. And I didn't know because they were a bit heavy as well. I'll show you. This is the biggest one. So it looks like that with some really lovely detailing at the bottom. They are Burton pottery, very tiny mark on the bottom that won't focus for you, but they're Burton pottery. And that was the biggest one. This was the middle-sized one, and there was a smaller one as well. Unfortunately, when we got the smaller one home, we realised it had a big chip in it. So that will probably be used by me to put flowers in, or we'll just pop it on the boot sale or something. But she had quite a high price on them to start with, and then she came down and said, oh, I'll take 8 for the 3. If you're buying the plate, I'll take 8 for the 3. And I thought that was probably worth it at the time. I'm now kind of regretting my choice, to be honest with you. Burton pottery doesn't fetch a great deal, and obviously the small one is now out of the picture, so basically I spent £4 each on these. I'm going to try to get 15 to 20 back on that. I'm going to try to get 10 to 15 back on this one, and that sounds like it could be okay, but I mean, with fees and everything, there's not a big return on it at the end of the day, and they're really heavy. So in hindsight, I would have left these behind, but I think because it was the first stall and you feel like you just want to buy something, and I bought the plate, and then she was coming down in price on these, I just went for it. Yeah, we didn't even notice the chip in the other one until we got home, and yeah, Nick said she probably knew it had a chip in it. But there we go. I mean, she has passed them on. She didn't want them anymore. She's passed them on. I will hopefully find somebody else to pass them on to, and they will stay in circulation and somebody will love them. So that's the main thing, isn't it? I did consider whether I might just keep the bigger one and use it as a vase. It is really, really lovely. So I haven't made up my mind on that yet, because it does fit in with the decor in the cottage. It is gorgeous. So I might use it for a little bit and then pass it on to someone. And then it won't really matter how much I've paid out on it, because I'll have had some use, and then it will eventually find a forever home. Who knows? Haven't decided yet. This was one of my last pickups of the day. Now I'll tell you the story first, story time. We went to this stall. There wasn't really that much on it. It was the end of the day. They'd sold all their good stuff, I suppose, except this was still sat there. And I looked at it and I thought, now something is in my mind about this. Something is in my mind that somebody we know, and I think it might have been Damien, DB Resells, that sold one of these. It might not have been Damien, it might have been somebody completely different, but in my mind, that's who first came to mind. And I was thinking, I'm sure that these have got some worth, and I'm sure that whoever I saw sold it for a fair amount. But it was really difficult because there was nobody else there, and it was just me and Nick, and obviously the people selling, and I couldn't really tell him what I was thinking, because you don't want to say, oh, this item here that's £2 could be worth like 50, I don't know. So I waited until he walked away, and then I told him. And we quickly, looked it up out of sight of the people that we were buying from. And yes, I had been correct. There is some worth in this item, so I'll show you. It does have its lead. It is a Swan kettle. I don't know if you can see the bottom. It's a bit grubby. It needs a lot of attention. It is very furry inside. As you can see, it's had a lot of use. I still need to put some water in, see if it boils, and test that it's all working, because it might not be. But that memory had been correct. If we can get this cleaned up and looking really spick and span, if it works, it's all ifs, this could be worth 40 to 50 pounds. These Swan kettles, the vintage Swan kettles, are now really sought after. People who've got vintage homes are looking for this kind of thing. So for £2, it was worth taking a chance on. And we grabbed it, went back and grabbed it. It was funny, just as we decided, a whole group of people started walking up to the stall, and I was like, quick, before they see it and decide they want it. Because that would have been what they call sod's law, wouldn't it? If we decided, yes, going to buy it, and trotting off back and somebody else buys it, yeah, we've all been there. That's happened before. But yeah, so there's something to look out for. If it's cheap enough and you want to take a chance on it working and getting it all nicely cleaned up, Swan kettles are worth a good return. On another stall I saw this, and again I had in my mind that Philosophy was a really expensive brand. I think I've looked at it in Boots or somewhere like that before, it might have been Debenhams or something, and tried some of their testers, and it really is lovely. It doesn't look like it's been used. It obviously isn't still sealed. I had a little look inside, and it does look like it might be old packaging, because it was different to anything that I've seen online. That's what it looks like. So you can see it may have been sprayed once or twice, if that. So I had a little sniff, and I thought, that is gorgeous. It really is lovely. And I thought it was £5, which is quite a lot. But I thought, if I'm wrong and it's got no resale value whatsoever, I'd very happily keep it. So I decided to pick it up for £5. And I was right, Philosophy does fetch a good second-hand price. I should get about 30 to 40 pounds. So sadly I won't be keeping it. I do like it, but I've got enough perfume of my own to get through. So yeah, I'm going to pass it on to someone else and pop it on eBay. On the same sort of lines, I picked this up, which is a room spray, and it was £1. And it just looked expensive. It looked like it was an expensive brand. Pecksniff's Forest Therapy. I thought, that looks fancy for £1. Going to give that a go. And again, I thought, I'll probably end up using it. I didn't really think whether it would have a resale value, to be honest, apart from the fact that it hasn't been used, it's brand new. And it looked fancy. But I thought, oh, I'm going to look it up. I looked it up on eBay. And brand new, these are £17.99. Somebody had sold one for £15.99 brand new. on eBay.
Hello.
Hello.
Bye.
Bye. But being that you can get them for $17.99 on the website or anywhere else, I'd probably do it for less than that. So I'm thinking £10 to £12 I'm going to sell that for. I mean, it does smell very nice. I did have a little smell. I wouldn't be sad if I had to keep it. But I'm going to try and get £10 to £12 on it. So this turns out to be one of my favourite things that I bought, and I think I'm keeping it. To be honest with you, I thought I was probably going to keep it when I picked it up. It's this, and it says Dear Santa. So it's a very minimalist Christmas mug. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to add that to my Christmas mug collection. I could just imagine a nice big hot chocolate with vegan marshmallows on the top there at Christmas. Oh, yes. Love a mug, love a Christmas mug even more. I got it home and it's got a mark on the bottom which is very difficult for you to see, and I actually had to take a photo and then magnify it because the mark is not very clear. It looks a bit worn, to be honest. So it was very hard to see with the naked eye. And once I'd magnified it, the mark says Keith Brymer Jones. And I thought, oh, yes, he is the guy from the Great Pottery Throwdown. Who out there watches that? I absolutely love that programme. And he's one of the main judges, potters if you like, on the show. He's the guy that always cries when he gets emotional about something that someone's made. And that made me want to keep it even more because I love that programme so much, and I didn't realise he had his own range of stuff. So that is definitely a keeper. But if you've found any Keith Brymer Jones mugs, they're probably worth about £10 to £15, depending on the design and what they say, etc. They're all of a very similar ilk, very minimalist, with just saying something on it. And then I think it's not just mugs he does a whole load of crockery, etc. So yeah, worth looking out for, definitely resaleable, but I'm keeping mine. So in the same theme of things that I love, Emma Bridgewater tins. I do love picking up Emma Bridgewater. It was one of my favourite things to resell because I just love her stuff so much. And usually it fetches a really good return. These are a collab, so they don't have quite the same resale value that some of her pottery has or anything like that. But I should be able to get approximately £15 for the pair. So that's pretty good, I think. Or it's still worth picking up, always worth picking up, because it's very saleable stuff. Lots of people collect her, lots of people love it. I don't have a use for any tins, so I won't be keeping those. I've got plenty of my own, but they are lovely. I really do like them. And then we saw this mug, and it was only £1, so it was worth picking up. It's official Warner Brothers Polar Express merchandise. Don't know if that's focusing for you, but you get the idea. It's all 3D, but there does seem to be quite a lot of Polar Express mugs on eBay, so it's a lot of competition. Don't know if it will be the same when it gets to Christmas. So I might save this for then, because it's probably going to be more saleable later in the year. But I think it will probably be worth about £8 to £12. So it's fine to spend £1 on, but I wouldn't spend any more. And although it's a Christmas mug, I'm quite happy to let that one go. That's not one that I would be itching to keep, so still like it though. I love picking up Whittard of Chelsea mugs. try and show you the stamp on the bottom. So I picked up this pair for £1 each. I think they were, might be 50p each, not sure. But I didn't pay any more than £2 on those. And for the pair, I should be able to get £15 to £20 for them. So I'm always on the lookout for Whittard of Chelsea mugs. I do well with them, and yeah, there are lots of people that love their crockery, so I was happy to find those. And then this was really nice. Found this double candle holder. I always want to say candlestick, but it's not, because a candlestick is what you put in it. So it's a candlestick holder, basically. It's crystal. It's hand-cut Bohemia crystal, made in Slovakia. It's vintage, and should be worth about 15 to 20. I think I paid £2 for it. So, you know, it's not going to set the world alight, but it is a very lovely piece. And again, candlestick holders, candle holders of any kind, seem to do well later in the year because people are looking for Christmas decor, looking for things to, you know, set their tables at Christmas. And generally people are not looking for candle holders during the summer because we're not lighting candles, are we? It's not until we get to autumn and winter when it gets all cosy that we're looking for that sort of thing. So I'll probably leave that until a bit later in the year to list and hopefully get about £20 on it. Okay, so you may have spotted this in the video, and I bought it, as you can see. It was £3, and yeah, my instinct just said that is gorgeous, somebody is going to love that. So I've done some research since I got home, and it looks to be amber cloud glass by George Davidson, circa 1930s, so it's Art Deco. Bowls like this have been described as flower bowls, and a lot of them came with a frog inside. This one didn't have a frog with it, but I do have in stock an amber glass flower frog. It's not cloud glass, it's not amber cloud glass, which is what this is. It's just normal amber glass. So I'm in two minds whether I'm going to put this with this bowl and sell them together. So yeah, I really haven't made my mind up on that yet. I think what's putting me off is this isn't cloud glass. So it doesn't really match, and I don't know if that would put somebody off buying because it doesn't match, or do you think it would enhance it if it has got a flower frog and it is a flower bowl, and somebody who wants it for that particular use, for flower arranging and for use in their home to display flowers, etc. Do you think they would prefer to have it with a frog in it? Let me know in the comments what you would do. Would you sell them together, or would you just sell the bowl on its own and describe it as a flower bowl? It could be used as a serving bowl, it could be used as a decorative bowl, or you could put a flower frog with it and use it as a flower bowl. I'm very confused about it. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. So I would welcome any advice. Please let me know in the comments what you think you would do, whether you would pair them or not. Another thing that you might have seen in the video, I did pick up and buy, and it was this studio pottery mug. Can't resist a studio pottery mug. She wanted £1.50 for it. Nick was buying something else as well, so I think I got it for about £1 in the end. And it's got this mark on the bottom, like a castle. Well, it's more like a chess piece, like a rook chess piece. And either side it says S and P, which I'm not sure what it stands for, or whether it's like Rook Studio Pottery, Castle Studio Pottery. Maybe the SP stands for something completely different. Has anybody seen that maker's mark before? I've done quite a lot of research on the internet and I haven't found anything that matches it. So at the end of the day, I might just have to sell it as is and then just describe the maker's mark on it, and hopefully somebody who's looking for that sort of thing will find it, or it will just sell to somebody who loves the look of the mug itself. But not knowing its provenance, I will probably sell it for about 10 to 15. It might be worth more if I can find out who the maker was. Who knows? Let me know if you've ever seen that before. Yeah, it's a mystery. We found this phone. It caught both of our eye immediately. Absolutely gorgeous colour. It does have the lead with it, etc. It's not vintage. Let me show you. It shows a date on the bottom of 2020. And the sticker on the bottom says Protel X Limited. So it's a reproduction. Strangely, it is a dial phone. Because generally the reproductions have the push buttons on them. People struggle these days with the dial phones. I don't know what you would describe it as, dial phone, is that the right thing? Because obviously when you're phoning companies, they say press 1, you know, to get through to blah 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 and whatever. And you can't do that when with the dial phones. So yeah, it really surprises me that a reproduction would be made that way. Anyway, generally this sort of phone is worth picking up, whether it's modern or vintage, because people are looking for props, or people who have got retro houses just like them as almost ornamental, I suppose, just to fit in with the vibe of the house. Most of us have got a smartphone these days. Most of us don't even have a landline anymore. So yeah, this sort of vintage style phone is more of a decorative item or a prop. But we picked it up anyway. Trying to think what we paid on it. Wasn't very much. I don't know, 3 or 4 maybe? Might be less. But if it was a vintage one, you'd get a lot more. This one, probably only 20 to 25, but still worth picking up because, as I say, those sort of phones do have a market, and in that colour particularly, I think that will be quite saleable. So again, in the garage sale video, you might have seen us ask the price on these. They are wooden and brass candlestick holders. Didn't buy, they wanted £5 for 4 of them. The other set that was with these two, they were a bit damaged, so we only picked up these. But we also picked up this lamp base, which will need a complete rewire. It doesn't even have a plug in it, so we'll need to completely rewire this. I wanted £3 for that. I think in the end, I don't know if we paid £2.50 or £2 on the candlesticks. But it's, yeah, it's a really nice Art Deco design wooden lamp base. Once it's rewired and completely working, it could fetch £30 to £40. just simply because of its design and its age. The candle holders, 20 to 30, so that was a really good pickup. And you may have seen Nick pick this up. She was only £2. As you can see, she's 1960s, and in the video he says her nose is really odd, it's just a smudge. Well, unfortunately she's missing her nose. This is just glue. She should have a big sort of pom-pom style nose. The rest of her though is in pretty good condition really. She's quite clean. She's just missing her nose and her bow is a little bit frayed. Unfortunately, she's not worth as much as we really hoped that she would be. We have had a vintage Mickey before and it sold for a really good price. So we thought £2 was worth taking a chance on for the mini. But the ones that are listed, they vary all over the place. There's one listed in better condition than her for £9. And then there's one for 20. So sadly, she's not really worth a huge amount. Don't know, we might get 10 back. Not sure. We shall have to see how that one pans out. It may be that we end up just putting her on the boot sale and selling her for £2 again just to get our money back. Yeah. Now this one. Nick spotted this first. I hadn't got to the stall yet, and he beckoned me over and said, look what I found. And it's this salt frog, not a salt pig, he's a salt frog. He did have a spoon with him, but the spoon had been broken, which if you saw the video, you'd have heard the explanation of the spoon, etc. And you would have heard them talking about the lady that owned it, and she used to put mustard in it rather than salt. The thing that attracted us both to it is that I've had a very, very similar salt frog before, and I sold it on Etsy. Now, when I had that one the last time, I did some research on it, and everything that kept coming back talked about Richard Cheshire. The mark on the last one I had was not Richard Cheshire. And somebody who was really helpful on Instagram told me that there are lots and lots of copies of the very original Richard Cheshire design of salt frog. And this is another one of them. And it's also a completely different make to the one I had before. This one has got a maker's mark K on it. And I've done a lot of research on that, and I've come back with nothing so far. So I don't know if any of you out there have seen this maker's mark before. If so, please let me know. But I couldn't find anything on it. I sold the last one for £25 with free post on Etsy. So I've listed this one for the same amount. And I have actually chucked out the spoon because it was broken in several places. I think it detracted really. The last one I sold didn't have a spoon, so. But it was 50p. 50p. And I love the story behind it. If I used salt frogs, salt pigs, I would keep it myself, to be honest, because it's just got such a lovely story to it and some lovely history, and the lady that owned it sounded amazing, and obviously really loved this item. So I'm going to sell it on and pass it on to somebody else who is going to love it just as much. But yeah, I'm not going to keep it for myself. Somebody else is going to love this. I spotted this pot on a table, and I picked it up and looked at the stamp on the bottom, and it is Hokum pottery. Now, I've sold a couple of mantle vases of this type of pottery before, so I knew it had some value, it had some resale value to it. It's in lovely clean condition inside. It's not often that you find items with the original stopper, so that's a good thing in itself. It also has a little mark CR. So I did a bit of research, and the mark CR on the bottom is Cyril Ruffles, and I think he was the principal potter for Holcombe Pottery. This particular pot should sell for about £20 to £30. There are lots of collectors of this pottery, and it just makes a big difference that it was made by the principal potter and it has Cyril Ruffles' mark on it. So yeah, that was a nice little find, and I think that was about £1 or £2. Wasn't a lot. Okay, these are interesting. We picked them up simply because they're interesting. It's our neighbour with his bike, he's off. And it was these. And to be honest, we didn't really realise what they were. You can hear now. We didn't realise what they were when we first picked them up. Didn't realise it had liquid in. But they say Blue Delft on the bottom, and they're made for KLM, and I know that quite often the freebies that you get on flights are quite often very collectible, and these are too. I don't drink bowls, so I didn't even know what it was, and it really didn't occur to Nick until we got home and realised, oh, it's got a spirit in it. Yeah, so it says exclusively made for KLM by Bowls Amsterdam on the bottom, and there are 2 of them, and they still have their wax seal on. Now you would think that would be a good thing, but it's not if you want to resell them on eBay, because you can't sell alcohol. So yeah, we would have to drain them to sell them. What a shame. Yeah, but looking at completed listings, there should be about £15 to £20 each. They are very collectible. So that was a nice little find, really. Sometimes you've just got to pick things up and take them home to learn about them, as long as the price is right, of course. I spotted these curtains at one of the stalls I was at, and I wasn't sure. I mean, it looks very arts and crafts in its design, so I wasn't sure if it was a William Morris design. I've done a Google image search and I don't think it is. It's not one that I've seen before anyway, but I thought it was worth taking a chance. Oh, Jeff is off. Grumbling. Grumble, grumble. So I bought 2 sets of these curtains for £2 each. Thought it was worth taking a chance on, even if they're not William Morris. As I say, they are an arts and crafts style design, which is very popular. So I thought they were, definitely worth picking up, especially for £2 each. Can't go wrong. So I've got, as I say, 2 sets of those. I haven't laid them out yet, so I don't know what sort of size they are. But even if they don't sell as curtains, they would have value for the material itself. If I was to sell them as curtains, they're probably going to fetch about £30 to £40. So, oh, Jeff's very excited about my curtains. And then on to something I picked up from the... grumble, grumble, he's heard something. He's thrown me again. And at the same stall, I spotted these. Oh, no, you. Ooh! It's just slid across the floor. I've shut this door because generally he'll just bark his head off constantly at people passing. So I thought I'll shut the door, shut him in here with me. But the back door's open, so He's still off.
What are you doing? You still recording?
I'm still recording, yeah. I'm trying, except he's barking his head off.
Yeah, on your boots.
So, on the same stall, I spotted these and I knew, oh, that's the dishwasher's finished. It's all going on, it's all going on. I knew that these were worth picking up. I've sold these before. They are definitely very saleable, and it is Victoria Plum. I actually had this exact set myself when I was little, so yeah, brings back lots of nostalgic memories. So there is the duvet set and pillowcase. So cute. Brings back so many memories. Tap points on offer if you can tell me who created Victoria Plum in the 80s. A famous person created Victoria Plum and the books, and obviously then all of the merchandise that went with it. Let me know in the comments. I'll give you a tap point or two. This excited me. There is a spare pillowcase still in its packaging. This is what the duvet set looks like. I might even pinch that image there and take a photo of it and use it when I list the duvet set. But I also have the curtains, so it continues to be exciting. The only thing about the curtains is they're not in the best of condition. They have got some marks, minor marks, not huge, and they are very faded. They're not as vibrant and colourful as they once were, but he sold me the whole lot of Victoria Plum for £2. I didn't even haggle, that was his price. He was just like, £2 for it all? And I was like, yes please. So yeah, they need a good wash, and then hopefully somebody will buy them for the material, even if they don't want to use them as the curtains, because I've seen people use this sort of material for making cushion covers and different craft projects. So yes, I was very, very happy with that little pickup, because I love Victoria Plum still to this day, and yeah, I know that a lot of other people do as well, which is why it still sells really well. I don't know if I told you the resale value on the duvet set. I was getting too excited about it. 30 to 40 on the duvet set. And then the curtains, I mean, potentially 30, but as I say, somebody might just want it for the material, so I might end up selling them for less, doesn't matter really. And not sure, I don't know whether to put the pillowcase in with the duvet set when I sell it, or sell it on its own, and I've got nothing to go on with that, because it's very, very rare that you will see it still in its original packet. So I think I might do it on its own, but I don't know where to go with it, what somebody would pay. Maybe 20, 25, maybe, is that too much? I'll have to think about that one. Yeah, or I might just bundle it in as a bonus. I don't know, again, what would you do? Do you bundle it with the duvet cover, or would you take a chance on having such a rare item? I don't generally do auctions, don't seem to do well with auctions, because we don't do so many on our shop. Yeah, I think it's an algorithm thing because we don't do a lot of auctions, so they don't really do so well for us. So I probably wouldn't auction it. So it could be a makeupaprice.com. Okay, only a couple more things to go. Picked up this Sum, is that what they call them? Minnie Mouse mug. It's Disney Store. And I have actually listed this already because I was researching it and I thought I might as well just draft it and list it. And I think I listed it for $11.99 with offers. So yeah, I mean, Disney mugs generally are worth around the £10 mark, at the least. Sometimes you'll sell them for less if they're quite common. This could possibly end up going for much less, could go for about £8 maybe, because it is a fairly newish design and quite common. But anyway, always worth picking them up. I think I paid £1 for it. I generally don't pay any more than £2 on Disney mugs. And then the very last thing that I have is something that I actually bought for myself because they are my size and I liked them. But I knew that they had some resale value if they didn't fit or they weren't comfortable. And it is these shoes. They are the brand, I don't think you're going to be able to see it, but the brand Love Our Planet. It's got a label on there. Oh, you might be able to see on the zip. Love Our Planet are vegan footwear. So that attracted me to them as well. But unfortunately, I have tried them on, and although they fit, there's a bit that really digs in and it's very uncomfortable, which is potentially why they've ended up at the garage sale, because they look like they haven't been worn. So yeah, potentially somebody's bought them online, got them, realised they really aren't very comfortable, and sold them on. And yeah, I do have quite wide feet. I think if you had narrower feet, they probably would be a lot more comfortable. So I'm going to put them on eBay for about £15. I paid £3. Yeah, I'll probably just put in the description that yeah, if you've got wide feet, these probably are not the shoes for you. But yeah, hopefully eBay will find an owner that wears them comfortably and enjoys them. Okay, so that is everything. It was quite an epic haul today. There was a lot of good stuff at that garage sale. And that isn't everything that we got. We did get some other stuff, which I think Nick's going to do a separate haul for. Yeah, so look out for that one. But there's a reselling fly. Did you see him?
Hello.
Hello. Nick's back. Oh, are you coming to say hello?
I can say hello if you want. Do you want me to?
I just thought that was what you were doing. I thought you were heading to come say hello.
I was popping over the shop.
Oh, okay.
Go on then, wrap up.
Oh, right.
Oh, loiter.
Yes. I was just saying that you're going to do a haul yourself because there's some more stuff to show.
Yeah, well I might show some of this as well, because some of this we kind of found together. Like
yeah,
this.
We did. That one and the phone, well, most of it. Oh, I haven't even showed this. I missed this. How did I miss that? This is Foster's pottery. Not worth a great deal, but I rather liked it. It was £1, I think. And yeah, £5 to £10. Not going to set the world alight with that one, but...
Is that the Cornish stuff?
Yeah, Cornish pottery. But yeah.
Yeah. Did you fart?
No, that's the chair.
Yeah, I'll do a separate video. I bought all sorts of weird random stuff, didn't I?
Yeah.
I can't even remember.
Yeah, so look out for that one. Another one to look forward to. And yeah, I'm just wrapping up. So until next time, take care everyone. Bye for now.
Sure.